A renewed Iran nuclear deal seems closer than ever, and Iran appears to be most optimistic it has been in years. World powers are clinching an agreement, but still there are obstacles to rescuing the 2015 pact. Now, Iranian negotiators did respond to the European Union's proposal, pointing out some issues that still remain. So what are the sticking points right now? We tell you.
Iran and the United States. There's no love lost between the two. They have been enemies for a long time now. But in recent days, the tensions have exploded. In focus is the Iran nuclear deal. In 2015, Iran and 6 other world powers emerged out of months of negotiation. The result was a historic nuclear deal with Iran, formerly known as the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action. Iran agreed to limit its nuclear activities, and in return, its crippling economic sanctions were lifted. All was well until 2018. Then US President Donald Trump felt that the deal did not go far enough, so he decided to walk away from it. Since then, the Iran nuclear deal has seen a lot. But countries are still scrambling to save it. This time, the deal even looks within reach. Earlier this week, the European Union presented their final text, one that they said was non-negotiable. Iran has now studied the text and responded to it.
I can only confirm that we have received the Iranian response last evening. For the moment, we are studying it and we are consulting with the other JCPOA participants and the US on the way forward.
The United States has refused to comment on what the proposal was. But the European Union and the US are studying Iran's reply. However, officials say the big issues have been largely settled. They added that it was close to what the US was looking for.
We have in fact received Iran's comments on the EU's proposed final text. We have received them through the EU. We're in the process of studying them. We are at the same time engaged in consultations with the EU and our European allies on the way ahead.
Currently, there are 3 sticking points. The traces of uranium. Iran says the IAEA must drop its claims about Tehran's nuclear work. In June, the UN nuclear watchdog passed a resolution. It criticized Iran for failing to explain uranium traces at 3 sites. Iran reacted by further expanding its underground uranium enrichment. It also removed IAEA's monitoring equipment installed under the 2015 deal. The other issue is binding guarantees. Tehran essentially wants guarantees that no other US administration will leave the pact. But Joe Biden cannot promise this. This is because the nuclear deal is a non-binding political understanding, not a legally binding treaty between countries. The other contention is Iran's Revolutionary Guards. Tehran wants Washington to remove the IRGC from the terror list. The IRGC is Iran's most powerful military force, reporting directly to Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. But removing it from the terror list looks unlikely. In June, reports suggest that the demand had been taken off the table. They said it was to give diplomacy a chance. This is a positive sign for everyone involved in the nuclear deal, especially for the United States and the European Union. Both sides are also desperate to reach a deal. If it is reached soon, 1 million barrels of oil per day could enter the market, something that could help relieve the global energy crisis. Currently, Iran cannot sell its oil on the global market, but if a deal is reached, it will allow Tehran to do so. The bigger challenge, however, is reviving dormant oil fields and the logistics of it all. Yet Iran says it maintains many of its fields. So if a deal is reached, Iran says it can potentially pump nearly its full capacity in 6 months. That's 3.7 billion barrels a day in just 180 days. So this is where things stand now. America and Iran want to seal the deal. Europe needs it desperately. So there's a need to salvage the historic JCPOA. But it's rarely as easy, with the baggage of decades-old mistrust and hatred. West Asia Bureau, WION World is One.